Liverpool 2, Brentford 0. Job well done. 6 points out of 6. Second clean sheet already this season, which is I think quite interesting after the lack of clean sheets that we had during last season. We've scored 4 times. We had 63% possession today, and an interesting stat that I'm going to talk about a little bit later: passing accuracy that we've got. Let's start with the first half. It was 10 of last week's team that started the first game. The only change was Kwanzaa for Konate, and I want to talk about Konate in a little bit as well. It followed a similar pattern to last week against Ipswich, where the first half was quite slow, a bit of a slow start, lots of build-up play, but not a huge sense of urgency, I suppose you would say. And it was a quite uneventful first half, brought to life, of course, by an absolutely brilliant goal by Luis Diaz. Mo Salah, their corner. It's funny, I was sitting here chatting with my brother-in-law, and we were talking about how teams seem to be more dangerous when we've got a corner by breaking on us, and then the exact opposite happened. So Mo Salah managed to win it on the edge of our box, lay it to Jota. Diaz's run was absolutely superb, and the way he runs from outside to inside across the defender and allows Jota to put him in. And then, with the defender closing him, his best option is to use his left foot, which we know he doesn't use that often, and he buried it. I was expecting him to go across the goal, but he didn't. He just blasted it into the top corner. Keeper got a bit of a hand to it, but he was never stopping it. A brilliant moment in an otherwise sort of non-eventful first half. And Andy Robertson, who twice this game and against Ipswich got into these forward attacking positions where he's been unlucky not to score, and this time he brought off a save from the goalkeeper. So anyway, it was very controlled, meticulous. Brentford didn't offer much. They looked like, for them, it was like, let's stay in the game and see if we can do something towards the end of the game. Second half, it was all different again, and as it was with Ipswich, we just took Brentford to the cleaners second half. The only surprise is that we only scored 1 from it. There's some interesting statistics in the first half. So we played 2 games. In the first half of the games versus the second half of the games, these are the stats. In the first half, this is combining both games, we've had 8 shots in the first half. In the second half, we've had 29. In the first half, we've created 1 big chance. In the second half, we've created 8. And the XG in the first half is 0.79. The XG in the second half is 4.51. It's quite remarkable. And touches in the opposition box, 17 in the first half, 76 in the second half. So it is, I don't know whether teams run themselves out or we just get more comfortable in the second half the more the game goes on, but it's quite interesting. Arne Slot just said at the end he doesn't want it to be that way. He wants it to be equal, that would dominate both halves. Second half, we battered them. Those stats I just mentioned, a lot of them were from this game. We could have scored another 3, 4, 5, just as against Ipswich. And to be honest, I don't even think it was a case of missing big chances. It was some great saves from the keeper and some last-ditch defending where deflections went just over the bar or just around. We hit the post, we hit the bar. We did everything, but the one time Mo Salah was shackled by their left back. That was his job, just keep Mo Salah quiet, and he did it okay. Mo was causing them all sorts of problems, but he did it okay. And then he thought they were breaking, and he left Salah. Szoboszlai gets the ball, knocks it in, perfect. Salah, as again was just mentioned on the telly, which I completely agree with, he rarely runs offside. He's such a clever forward that he's on by, probably 6 inches. And a gorgeous left foot chipped shot, the way he opens up his body, it was superb. Now, as I say, it could have been 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. But there were certain things that I've noticed in these two games that I think are worth pointing out. See what you think about these. Number one, the intricacy of the play through the lines is quite spectacular at times. And between Gravenberch, McAllister and Szoboszlai, they are making all of these clever diagonals and passes, and they're opening up different parts of the game. Trent is another one, heavily involved in all of that. But the way we transition through the lines is, I would say it's a new feature of our game, and it's quite direct. It's very, very quick, and it bamboozles the opposition. The second one is pass completion, and in the game again today, and I noticed this in the games in pre-season, our stats for pass completion is over 90%. Today was 91%. Brentford's was down where I would say most teams are at. It was about 82%. But that, considering the speed that we are passing and the speed that we're running through the lines and all the running off the ball, to have that higher a pass completion rate is, again, I think that's a new feature of the team under Arne Slot. Third, mentioned it again earlier, but 2 clean sheets, and Brentford had 2 shots on target today. One of them was a big chance. It was from, typically for Brentford, it was from a set piece, but we restricted them to virtually nothing, and at no point in that game did they ever have the upper hand. They had a little bit of a go towards the end of the first half where they got a little bit of joy with possession, but other than that, it was 80 plus minutes of Liverpool domination. And the fourth feature, and again I see a difference here versus the last few seasons, is when we lose the ball, we've got so many men high up the pitch, we lose the ball, the urgency and the running, they bust a gut to get back. All of them. We had a 2-on-2 in the second half because we were on the attack and the ball broke, and they had 2-on-2, and literally a split second later we had 7 back. We had 7 men all busting a gut to get back there, and all of that combined equals we're hardly giving up any chances against these teams. So a tremendous second half, and I think you could say, even though the first half was a bit bland, a tremendous performance overall, and a thoroughly deserved and easy win in the end. So a few shout outs. So Luis Diaz, I would say that Luis Diaz last season was almost on the edge of something special, where he would beat players and he would choose the wrong pass, or he would choose the wrong shot, and it was becoming a bit frustrating. But so far this season, I mean, his contribution to the team has been fantastic, and it was his 100th Liverpool game today, and he got a goal and assist, and was very lucky not to have another assist, because Jota's point blank shot was basically saved on the line by a defender, and it just looped over the bar. But he was brilliant. The midfield trio, it's going to be hard for anyone to become first choice now. They're going to have to bide the time, and because those three, I'd say Gravenberch had an average first 20 to 30 minutes, but for the rest of the game he was brilliant. McAllister was recycling everything, and Szoboszlai was just on the ball all the time, driving forward. So those three really played their part today. Third shout out, Mo Salah. What can you say about this fella? He just finished off another chance. It's yet another goal. It takes 1 or 2 players to just, all they've got, they just concentrate on him, because he is such a danger, and it allows space for others to make their mark. The next is Trent, and didn't look happy, did he? When he was taking off, he was like sitting there like a little sulking schoolboy on the bench. But you got to manage the minutes, you got to manage the squad, and it was plain sailing at that time. Conor Bradley deserves minutes, but Trent, I don't know if it showed on your telly, but the heat map of the touches that he had in this game, he was all over the place. He was on left wing at some point, but his passing again, you know, there was a couple of them that were all almost right on the money. Very difficult pass that nobody else would even try. But Trent pulls them off time and again, and he was excellent. The next shout out, Ibra Konate. He was superb today, and he was superb when he came on last week, and he didn't get tight today. I'm always criticising him for getting too tight to his men, and he didn't do it today, but he didn't put a foot wrong, and he was so instrumental in keeping them at bay, and his football was tidy, it was well executed, his positional play was spot on, his tackling was spot on. He had a tremendous game, and you know, Jarell Quansah is there in reserve. He's a young lad. He's going to continue to get better. But right now, I think maybe it was a little bit of a kick up the pants for Konate not to start the first game. But if it was, it certainly helped, because he has been tremendous now for a game and a half. And the last one, Virgil van Dijk. Again, his positional play is so good that quite often you don't even notice how good it is, because he just cuts balls out, because he reads the game so well. And he wasn't as visible today as Konate, but he was just as efficient in everything that he did. And the stat was Virgil's 100th home game for Liverpool, and he's lost two home games in 100. So that's what a stat that is, and what a captain he is. So next up, I think it's the international break again after that. But next up, it's the Manx, and they're already feeling the pressure. They've already been beaten, and they've managed to squeak a win in the first game with an 88th minute winner. But we've got momentum, and we should have absolutely no fear going and doing them. If we do, there's a nice run of games right after that when we get back. We're joint top of the league. We're only 1 goal behind in overall goal difference with +4. But quite interestingly, only 4 teams have won their first 2 games, and 3 of them are us, Man City and Arsenal. So the fight is on. All right, see you all next time. You never walk alone. Ta-ra.